Thanks for dropping by, Nick. No worries, Con. Anytime, mate. Thanks for the fresh fruit and veg. Here they come. Come in hot. Oh, look at all these goodies.
Thank you,
Con's
Nick.
hooked us up again.
I like it very much. And now that he's hooked us up with so much fresh food, we need to figure out how to store it all. So today we're talking food storage. And we're going to start by getting Ishbel and Mary to pick things out. And we're going to talk about how to best store them. So Ishbel, what are we thinking?
Go for the lucky dip.
The milk.
Awesome. The milk. Where do you think the milk goes?
In the fridge.
In the fridge, a fine choice. We put the milk in the fridge, but we put it on the top shelf where it's coldest, not on the door where it can get a little bit warm. So Ishbel, that's your job. To the fridge, on the top shelf. Now, what do you think, Mary? What are you going to go for?
The avocado.
Avocado. And the thing about avocados is when you grab it, you bring it home, the first thing you want to do is eat it. Am I right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or put it in sushi.
Or put it in sushi.
nice.
Very true. But you know what the problem is? You eat half of it and then you go, wait a minute, I've still got half an avocado. So what do? Well, Nick, did you want to slice that avo in half? And we'll show you what we do.
Absolutely.
Very carefully, watching our fingers, as you can see Nick is doing. He's going to slice around the avocado. And the key here is to pop it
Have a squishy ball.
and use the side that doesn't have the pip in it first. Then
absolutely.
keep the pip in because you've got less surface area and store it in an airtight container, but not before pouring a little bit of lemon juice on top, which is going to keep it from acidulating. We've got a little lemon there, so slice off a little cheek or cut it in half as well and squeeze some on top. And in that goes straight into the fridge. Mary, did you want to pop that in the fridge?
Sure.
Excellent.
Sealed.
Wonderful. Now, the next thing that we're going to go for, Ishbel, what do you reckon?
The grapes.
The grapes.
Nice choice.
Great choice. Now, as you can see, the grapes are in a perforated bag, which means that they've got an opportunity to breathe and they won't sort of sweat and suffocate in a plastic bag that doesn't have any sort of sealant. You can also use a brown paper bag if you want to. The key with this or any sort of soft fruit or berries is to make sure there are no rotten ones inside. So, Ishbel, in that goes, what do you think? Any rotten ones in there? It's looking pretty good. Con's done you well.
And we can check for rotten strawberries too, because similar thought there.
Very similar thought because they're soft too. Great. And I like to pop the fruit at the bottom, so in the crisper. Lovely. Now, what's the next thing, Mary?
Oh, let's go for some apples.
Apples. Lovely work. Now, these apples are already contained on their own. There are a couple of ways to store apples. Nick, how do you like to store your apples?
I like to put mine in the fridge.
Yeah, right. You like to have crispy, cold apples, and that's totally great. It'll give you great shelf life. I like to have mine out on the bench. I like the room temperature ones. Ishbel, what about you?
I like to store them in the fridge because then they're colder.
Nice, Mary.
crispy.
Yeah, I like crispy cold.
Okay.
Team Crispy wins that
The crowd
round.
has spoken. Pop them in the fridge. The key with apples is that they release a gas which can actually turn other things overripe. So you want to keep them separate from everything else. They do also help potatoes to stay fresher for longer though. So that's one little tip. You can pop an apple into your potato bag and that'll keep it fresher for longer. So these potatoes, what do you think we do with them? Where do we put those potatoes?
Maybe a dark place.
A dark place, nice. I like to keep them at the bottom of the pantry in a cool, dark place because the more sunlight the potato sees, the more it starts to grow eyes and vines. Now, there we go. So, Ishbel, maybe pop that in our pantry just over here. Lovely. Now, speaking of things that ripen everything else really quickly, we've got these bananas. Who loves bananas?
Me.
Mary, Ishbel. Wonderful. Everybody loves bananas except for sailors. Interestingly enough, when sailors first brought bananas back on their ships, they turned everything else rancid and they had no food to eat. So to this day, people don't actually let bananas onto boats. So what do? We keep our bananas away from everything else unless something is underripe. So let's say you wanted to have some apples to ripen up, you can pop the bananas in there with the bag. These bananas, keep them on the stem.
And if you want to prolong their life even longer, whack them in pyjamas and they'll be in good shape.
They'll have a good little nap and they'll be fine. Cool bananas. Okay, what's the next thing to grab out of that shopping?
Meat.
Meat. Great choice.
I think that's chicken actually.
That is some chicken. This is some cooked chicken. Cooked chicken can stay in the fridge in an airtight container for 3 to 5 days. Now, when you get raw meat, make sure that you either keep it in its vac-sealed container or if it's just come in a plastic bag, move it over to a glass container that's airtight and that'll stay for around about 3 to 5 days. But you can see it when it's turning dark. Into the fridge, please, Nick.
Absolutely.
What's the next thing?
I think these are eggs.
Eggs. Okay, excellent work. Where do we put our eggs?
In the fridge.
In the fridge, definitely. Unless, of course, you're a baker. In that case, there can be some eggs in the pantry and there can be some eggs in the fridge. Just make sure to watch when those eggs were picked up because you don't want to be using off eggs. So Ishbel, pop that in the fridge. And where do we put it? On the door or
Ishbel,
on the
you can
shelf?
go ahead. And how we'll do
On
this
the shelf.
is
Very
I'll
good.
toss them
Why
to
is
you,
that?
and you can catch
Well,
them in the
if you
fridge.
slam the door hard, it might crack.
Yes,
I don't think that's a very
very
good
true.
idea.
There you go.
Oh,
Phone's
gosh.
good.
So the
Don't
key
worry,
with
it's all right.
these eggs.
Where do you think we should put them?
Oh, you want them in the box? Okay.
Yes.
All right.
Now, what's the next thing in here?
There's some onions.
Onions, wonderful. So onions, kind of like another root vegetable, which should go somewhere dark. So maybe in the pantry as well. Into the pantry. What else have we got, Nick?
I think this is coriander. I don't know for certain. I don't think it's actually no, I don't think.
Now that is some celery. At the moment, the celery's in a plastic bag. What did we say about the grapes in a plastic bag? What happens?
They don't sweat and they don't go mucky.
They don't breathe.
So we need to
Exactly.
perforate them, that's right, because they were perforated, weren't they, Alice?
Well, we can perforate the bag, or in this case, we don't actually keep it in plastic at all.
Oh.
We can take it out and pop it into some foil. So foiling that plan all together. There we go. So do you want to wrap that in some foil, Ishbel, and then pop it in the crisper compartment of our fridge? Meanwhile, what else have we got? We've got some... What is this here?
I think it's kale.
Kale, great. Where does the kale go?
In the bin, am I right?
Not the best kind of food, but I agree with you, but maybe in the fridge.
In the fridge, very good. In the crisper, dark, leafy vegetables like this need to be kept in a bag because that'll keep them fresher for longer. So in the crisper.
And the parsley, as soon as I got here, Alice, while you guys were doing all your hard work, pop the parsley in some water because it's a herb. You want to keep it fresh like flowers.
Exactly, it's like cut flowers. If you want to keep them fresher for even longer, you can keep them in a glass like this with some water, but then pop a bit of wet paper towel over the top and in the fridge. Your herbs will last for like twice as long. Check it out, getting all the life out of everything. There we go, we can pop that one on the bench over here. We're going to need a bigger fridge.
We are. We're going to need a bigger fridge and we're going to come back and we'll work out where the best place to store pizza is. I know you want to know. We'll have the answer after the break. Let's go check this fridge.